wrestling streak is not only cool, but it always works. Goldberg was transformed into a beast because of it. Asuka, for a while, was the best thing in all of WWE as she became NXT champion. And where else could you silence an entire crowd other than beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania? These we all know about, though. What we don't talk about enough are the lesser known ones. I mean, there's a reason for that. It's mostly because some are ridiculous, but they're still interesting, and as of me talking, they're not getting enough attention. So let's change all that. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 8 lesser known wrestling streaks. Number 8, Samoa Joe. When Samoa Joe debuted in TNA, he was booked 100% how he should book the monster. In short, he was allowed to go on a 1.5-year undefeated streak. Damn skimping. Even better, the man who stopped this run was Kurt Angle after he debuted in 2006. It's not exactly like that was going to make Joe look bad. It's Kurt Angle, a major star who had just come from the WWE. On top of that, before all this, he ran rampant throughout the promotion, having amazing matches with Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles. Even when the three went at it together, Joe would never be the man who took the pin. He just didn't win. He didn't lose either. It was pure gold. Number 7, Tatanka. No one talks about Tatanka anymore, and it's not right. A staple of WWE back in the early 90s, he's right on the tip of your tongue after running through the major names of that period. If you were a fan back then, we all remember the Native American wrestler. Given that we're not even chatting about the man though, it's no surprise we don't talk about his undefeated streak he had when he first arrived in the company. Debuting on February 1st, 1992, he didn't suffer a loss until October 1993. Sure, he sometimes won by countout, as he did against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 9, but the facts are the facts. It's a shame this run was stopped by Ludwig Borger of all people, and even worse that it was followed up by so many losses it was hard to keep up. But he did it! An almost 2-year streak is more than solid. Number 6, Rob Van Dam. We mentioned The Undertaker earlier on, and as we know, his Mania streak came to a crashing end at WrestleMania 30 to Brock Lesnar. And yeah, we're all still reeling from it today. That automatically means we start to think who actually has a streak that hasn't been killed off. And that person is none other than Rob Van Dam, whose Mania run is still very well and truly alive. He only got to 4, but still. He toppled William Regal for the IC title in 2002, won a tag match in 2004, became Mr. Money in the Bank at 2006, and the year afterwards he teamed with fellow ECW alumni to see off the New Breed. Now he did lose in a pre-show encounter before Mania 19 where he stood next to Kane to take on Lance Storm Chief Morley, but that was on Sunday Night Heat. That doesn't count. Ever. Number 5, Umaga. When Edward Fatu returned to WWE TV as Umaga in 2006, we all rolled our eyes. Surely this was just more stereotypical fodder we'd seen over the years that would make us sad to be wrestling fans. While that was true to a certain extent, the character was actually badass, and this was helped because he did go on a huge winning streak that saw the Samoan take out Ric Flair, Kane, Shawn Michaels, Eugene, Val Venus, and for some reason, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Going on for around 6 months, it eventually put him on track to take on John Cena, and wouldn't you know it? Given how he had been treated up to this point, it felt more than deserved. Because wins do in fact matter. Of course he never truly got the better of Big Match John, but still, when it was all happening, it was awesome. Number 4, Charlotte. A more recent one and a point that still causes a lot of contention today. Charlotte did indeed go on a 16-match winning streak on pay-per-view that seemed destined to end at WrestleMania 33. But it didn't. Cut short for some reason at Fastlane 2017 instead when Bayley got her big win, it kinda sucked all things considered. WWE had built this idea up well, and furthermore it allowed Charlotte to feel like she was a big time player. When it counted, she always came out on top. It's hard to imagine someone beating this anytime soon either, given the usual rundown of a WWE show, so this may stand for quite some time. Number 3, Vladimir Kozlov. Why Vladimir Kozlov was deemed worthy of a main event push and to be a title challenger in 2008 is anyone's guess, but at least WWE tried to make sense of it all by making the Russian feel legit. Steamrolling his way through loads of jobbers and shouting from the top of his lungs he couldn't be beaten, he eventually found himself in the Survivor Series main event against Edge and Triple H. While he didn't win, he also didn't lose. The game took the pin that night, and that set Kozlov up going forward. He competed again at the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match a few months later and did get pinned, but as WWE didn't count this as singles competition, the aura of dominance was kept up in some regard. Kozlov kept that going for ages too, as it wasn't until just before WrestleMania that it ended. Before that, he'd beaten The Undertaker clean on SmackDown. And then naturally he faded into nothingness, because of course. Number 2, Edge. The coolest thing about the Edge vs Taker main event at WrestleMania 24 was the fact it was streak against streak. We've touched on the Phenom's exploits here twice already.
but up till this point the Rated R superstar was doing pretty good on the grandest stage of them all. Sure, he hadn't taken home the Money in the Bank briefcase a year earlier, but that's not a real defeat. Before this he had beaten Booker T, Mick Foley, won another Money in the Bank match and notched up a couple of tag team wins alongside Christian. It was The Undertaker that did bring this all to a halt, and he also lost a bout against Chris Jericho at Mania 26. Not bad going though. Number 1, Rusev. It's hard to remember now, but when Rusev first came on the main roster scene, he decimated everybody. Debuting at the 2014 Royal Rumble, he went over a year before having a loss on his record. Between that time, he did away with Sheamus, Mark Henry and Jack Swagger, all dudes that had won a world title during their careers. This is why it was so sad when John Cena did beat Rusev at WrestleMania 31. Especially after the Bulgarian Brute came out of a tank. But that's better than him coming in and getting jobbed out straight away. At least he got to have his moment. Now let's get back to that as soon as we can, because as we know, Rusev is wonderful. Know of any other lesser known wrestling streaks? Let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can even tell What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, or read even more articles at WhatCulture.com. I am Simon from What Culture, and I don't have any streaks, so what are you going to do?